we've seen a lot from the last few weeks of these guys. What impresses you most as you go into this weekend and know that some cuts need to be made?
Well, we've been really fortunate, and I think I think the training staff deserves a lot of credit, in the strength and conditioning staff, because this was an unusual off season for us, obviously, because we never worked out with our guys, and credit goes to the players for working so hard. But the way we've been able to tailor stuff, getting in, now we're ready for week one, and we've made it through very healthy and in good shape with a lot of continuity and all that's helped us in a time when we really needed it, because of all of the time we missed. So. Yeah, I'm just pleased with the whole flow of it. It's worked out really well and positively, and the other side of it is, and you didn't ask me for the other side, but I'll give it to you, that we haven't had enough competition at this time of the year to really make the evaluations the way we'd like to, and we'd like to have all those game snaps and all. And we've told you a million times that you got to wait until you see guys in games. Well, that we weren't afforded that in the evaluation process, so. That's the only setback. But other than that, it's been a really solid camp. I said to you guys early on that I hoped that the work we had done in the offseason with meeting with on Zoom so much made it such a regular occurrence for us. When we hung on there, we didn't give up and shy away from it at all. Our coaches did a fantastic job. The players stayed with it, and it helped us throughout this camp where we were Zooming a lot. So it felt like there was kind of a continuity that it was different than usual, and to some degrees better. So I don't know what to tell you about that, but just really pleased with how it's turned out.
Tim Booth.
Hey, Pete. What are your thoughts about bringing Josh Gordon back? And do you have indications at all that he'll be reinstated and he'll be able to practice with you guys almost immediately?
Really, right now we don't have any indication. We don't have word on that, and we've obviously tried to find out, but we have no word from the league yet. We'll have to wait and see. Josh's experience with us was really positive. He worked really hard, studied hard, came through when he had his chances in games, made some incredible plays, and left us with a really good impression. We've told you all along that we really liked the experience we had, and we were hoping that all along if there was a chance to get him back, we would want to get him back. And so we'll just have to wait and see when, but we're happy to have the opportunity to bring him to our club.
Curtis?
Similar note, what about Demontre Moore and getting him back in the fold here for you?
Yeah, he really has a chance to help us right now. Without Darrell Taylor for a little bit longer, we needed another guy in the rotation, and Demontre has always impressed me with his effort in his chase of the football. He's got a great motor, and I've always liked that about him. He's been up and down through his career and been a lot of places and all. He's very serious right now, really settled down. All of the maturity process that you would hope to see in a guy he was wild and crazy and all that. He's really focused right now. He's a dad and taking care of his little one, and his family and all that. Seems to have really given him direction and focus that he's admittedly talked about already. And so I'm really pleased to get him because he plays so freaking hard. He really gives it up effort-wise.
And how do you view the kind of fit with your pass rush just now in general, and how everything's sitting and how you've gotten to this point in camp?
Well, we've had really good camps with Bruce and Benson. Those guys have done a really good job. They've shown us a real spark. Those guys bring a lot of sacks. They bring 16 sacks from last year. Well, we could sure use those, and they understand the scheme. The scheme fits them really well. Our rotation really was Alton Robinson was really the guy that also can add in, and that's a lot to ask of a pup, coming in. And so it was really nice to add Demontre, and I hope that we can get through next week and get him ready to play.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Pete, what's going on with Stephon Sullivan?
He's got a hip thing that's bothering him, and it just hasn't quite gone away. So we're just trying to work our way through it. We've been rehabbing him and all that, unfortunately. I'll say this: he had a really good start to camp and got going, and unfortunately, when he's got transitioning in positions to some extent, and he needs all the work, and unfortunately, he didn't get the finish to camp that he needed to really make all the progress he could make. But he's done a really nice job, but he's banged up right now.
Two more. What's the latest on Cedric Abui, And where was Quentin Dunbar today?
Cedric will be back Monday, I understand. He had a little bit of a pec strain, real minor, and we just want to make sure it doesn't, we didn't aggravate it. So next week he's ready to go. Should be ready on Monday. Quentin had a family issue that he had to go home for. Had a funeral that he needed to attend, and so he had to go home.
Thanks.
John Boyle.
Yeah, Pete, I know you talked about you didn't get maybe all the competitive snaps you normally would get in the preseason, all that, but just overall, with now you're getting into regular season mode, how do you feel about this team, the depth you have on this roster going into cut week?
Yeah, I've been really pleased, John. It's been it's the whole process with these guys coming out of last year, the guys we knew that would come back and be a factor, guys we're looking forward to mature, in their second year. We've seen some marvelous advancements. The attitude and leadership, I think I'm probably 100% telling you that it's right on point. The guys have just carried the message really well. And what's really interesting about that is that they obviously are good leaders because the guys are following them and they're with them. And so our older guys have been able to control the locker room really well, and everybody's on the same page. We compete like crazy. It's a very competitive group. And again, you guys don't get to see it all, but the spirit on the practice field, and that really always, I can gauge that is what the mentality is. These guys are upbeat and going for it and excited and positive. So, everything feels like it's in line. We gotta see. I mean, maybe Atlanta's ripping too. I don't know what they're doing, but as far as we're concerned, we're at a good place right now, and hopefully we can really put together a good start to the season.
Bob Condotta.
Yeah, Pete. Are you guys still in contact with Jadaveon Clowney at all? Is the door still open on him at all?
Always competing. Always competing.
And one other, in terms of the some of the moves you made just in the offseason, obviously Jamal Adams and Quentin and guys like that are guys that can really come in and help you. Was there? I know you're always competing, and every year is important. But was there any sense of urgency with this year at all to want to try to add some veteran guys like that?
John, no more than we're always trying to put together a championship club. I think John's had a fantastic offseason from the draft on through with his guys. They've done a great job of making this a really competitive roster again, with some big, bold moves and some great, foresight and vision and all that. We're really excited about this club, and we got to go next couple of days figure out the roster to finalize it. But it's been a really good competitive group, and they get a lot of credit for that, man. They put this thing together.
Art.
Beat something a little different. If we were in a normal world right now, the University of Michigan's plane would be landing at SeaTac right about now. Would you have liked to have gone out to meet Jim Harbaugh at the airport or invite him over for dinner later?
Well, I wouldn't really mess with Coach Harbaugh's routine. I'm sure he's really digging in, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't be watching the game. I want to check out how he did. He's a great football coach, and he's a big deal to football in general as well as college football. I'm glad that you really think that there's something going there. I appreciate that.
Do you miss him in the NFC West?
Sure.
Hmm? Is there a chance that someday you might be on the veranda together with him, sipping Courvoisier and swapping stories?
No, I don't. I mean, slopping Courvoisier and swapping. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But one of the last times we were together at a league function, league meetings, his wife had to come over and tell me that he didn't want to come talk to me. So I went with her and went and talked to him, and I think she was just trying to get us together or something. But we've had a real good relationship, and it's based on great respect. And his brother does a pretty good job too, so it's a good family. And I love his dad, Jack too. So you don't realize that we maybe do. Probably told it. We used to compete back in the day when he was coaching at Michigan and as a secondary coach, and I was a secondary coach at Ohio State. So I've been around that family for a long time.
Thanks.
Greg Bell.
Sorry, I don't have any Courvoisier questions for you, but why now?
That reminds me of the ladies' man, right?
A little too refined for me.
Some of you guys might remember the ladies' man. Anyway.
Why now with Josh Gordon, Pete? Why not 2 weeks ago? Why not a week from now? Something must be imminent, or you must have gotten a belief that it's going to happen soon, no?
Whoa. You think there's a little story, a backstory here, huh?
Well, I mean, this has been on this. You could have signed him 2 months ago with the expectation of him being suspended, right?
Yeah, really. John was really orchestrating this, and we tried to do it as well as we could possibly do it, and the timing came down to this time frame right here. So, and again, we don't know exactly how this is going to roll out. So, but we thought this was the best time to do it, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. We're all kind of just keeping our fingers crossed he gets a chance to play soon.
And what has, speaking of receivers, Paul Richardson been able to show in one practice?
It's been tough for Paul. He just hasn't had a chance yet. He comes in out of from home, and we're going at such a clip right now that we wanted to make sure and get him started. So today was really the only day he really got to practice. He went through individual in the early parts of practice, but he took some team reps today for the first time. So it's very difficult for Paulie to show where he is and all that. We do know him really well. We love the kid and the way he plays and all that. So it just wasn't much of a ramp for him to show where he is, unfortunately.
And finally, real quick. In general, now that it's over, was the development part of this camp really what lacked? You had to get into running mode with your veterans right away, and maybe the undrafted rookies in previous years, you would have gotten them a better chance at it.
Yeah, there's no question that was hindered. All the days we would have logged over a long period of time, too. We'd had them for 3 phases of the offseason. We just would have gotten to know these guys better. We would have understood them better. We would have communicated at a better, higher clip, and then we'd come back to camp and get to apply all that we had, acquired on them. So it's just not a regular format at all what we're used to. And however, what we had to do is we had to compete like crazy to get the most out of it for everybody's sake, for these guys a chance to make a club and for us to put a great team together. And I think we've maxed out what we could have. I really go back to our offseason was really, I don't know how it was such a connective aspect of this relationship of this team right now, but it has been. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll see when we start playing games where we are.
Thank you.
Joe?
How do you feel about Freddie Swain's camp?
Man, he had a nice camp. He had a really nice camp. He missed a couple days in here with a little something, but he, all in all, he showed he's a really smart football player, and his toughness showed up, and his well-roundedness showed up. He really contributed in special teams too. So he did a nice job, really nice job.
Have you made a decision yet at center?
We'll tell you next week. I think I told you we'd tell you next week. I've made a decision, yeah. We'll tell you next week.
Brady?
What do you think of the camp that KJ
There's no
Wright
reason
had?
why I said that. There's no underlying story or nothing. It's just the way it came out. Sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just the camp that KJ Wright's had, and where do things stand right now at weak side spot?
Well, KJ had a terrific camp. We didn't know if he would be on PUP or not when we got here, but he did a fantastic job to get ready. He was able to do everything we asked of him and look great. Really took hold in leadership and did a fantastic job of mentoring Jordan. Jordan's done a nice job too, so the unfortunate part, and then we go back to the developmental discussion, we didn't have games to get a chance to see him in other than our own, and we would have liked to, he probably would have played 100 plays or something, that we didn't get. We probably got 40-something plays out of him, so about maybe 50 in our game situation, so half the time that we would have seen him. So there's no rush. There's no rush here. We're just trying to do the right thing, and I like what both guys bring. They're different style players, and we're really excited about Jordan. He's really had a good camp. He's really done a lot of good stuff, so we're really pleased with that.
And similar question with David Moore. What kind of camp do you think David Moore has had?
Strong camp. He was very solid throughout. We have our ways, that we like to get the ball to him, and he's a really good all-around athlete and can return in the return game as well. So he's had a good, solid camp.
Thank you.
Masvita?
Hey Pete, going back to Josh Gordon, I know nothing's, everything is still up in the air, but what can you just say about his character and his willingness just to grow as a person to put himself in this position?
Yeah, Maz, I have been in contact with him some, over the off season, and just to keep track of what's going on and all. And like before, and through the time that we have communicated, I've seen nothing but a guy who really wants to, make a life of this NFL experience. He wants to do something with it in the worst way. He's worked really hard with it. He worked out with our guys a lot in the off season. They would kind of keep us up on how that was going, and then I would get some news reports from Josh. He's just done everything that he could have done. There's been no issues, no problems, nothing. So I think, and I think, I know people at the league office they know Josh pretty well, and they hold him in a high regard for all that he's been through. And it speaks to the character and all. Because he's had issues, but he has been a terrific young man in all of our exchanges. And so, I'm really pleased to have a chance to give him an opportunity again, and give him a chance to see if he can get back in the league and get going.
Thank you.
Ben?
Hey, Pete, you mentioned that Darrell Taylor is still a whiles away. What exactly is his timeline? When do you think he can actually start running, practicing, and do you think it's possible he starts the year on NFI?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't tell you more specifically. Like you said, you asked me exactly. We don't know that, and it depends on how he responds to the workload. It's always the case, and so. But we want to be patient with this because we want to get him back fully, and so that's what our trainers have been doing a really good job. When our guys come back to us, they've been staying back and staying out there. We want to do the same thing here. NFI at the start of the year, that's a real possibility. He's not ready to go yet, so we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Quick follow-up from Curtis.
Yeah, Pete, just curious how different you expect this weekend to be with the changes and all the rules and no visibility with preseason and moving the guys to practice squad. How different do you kind of view this whole process to be?
Well, if you can imagine all of the games that would have been played, there's hundreds of games would have been played. We don't have any of that film, and that's what our scouts do this time of year is study that film. So they're having to go back and restudy in different formats than they have in the past, so that they could evaluate what's the guys that hit the wire, and so it's a much different situation than normal in that regard. We don't have the updated information. We have to go off information that we went into the draft with, basically. So it's unusual. How would, if you want to try to predict what's going to happen, maybe there's not as much movement with players and all that because of that, because teams are just unsure, and they're having to guess and stuff a little bit more than normal. So. But we're on it. We're still working. We're doing all the same things. This is a real competitive time, as always, for us. And John's guys they're geared up and ready to go. They've got evaluations done. They're just not on the same, based on the same information we've had in the past.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
We're good. See you guys.